Hey, what's up, guys? So I've been seeing a lot of videos where people claim that the apostle Paul wasn't a legitimate apostle of Jesus Christ and that he taught a different message, right? Now, for those of you that don't know, the first church that was ever established in Europe was in Philippi, and that church was established by St. Paul. And those of you who read your Bibles know that St. Paul wrote a letter to the Philippians, right? Sometime around 61, 62 AD, right before he was, put to. But interestingly enough, we have a letter written to the same Philippians, right? That same church founded by Paul, by Saint Polycarp of Smyrna. Now, Saint Polycarp of Smyrna is writing to them a letter, and in that letter, we'll go ahead and see what he says. Now, Saint Polycarp, he was not a disciple of Paul. As a matter of fact, Polycarp was born 69 AD. So by the time he was born, Paul had already more than likely deceased, right? But nonetheless, we know that the Apostle John, whom the Lord loved, he continued to live on well into like about the year 100. And that's where Polycarp got his schooling from, right? These things, brethren, I write to you concerning righteousness, not because I take anything upon myself, but because ye have invited me to do so. For neither I nor any such other can come up to the wisdom of the blessed and glorified Paul. He went among you accurately and steadfastly taught the word of truth in the presence of those who were then alive. And when absent from you, he wrote you a letter, which if you carefully study, you will find to be the means of building you up in that faith which has been given you. Now that right there is Saint Polycarp writing a letter to the Philippians, the church, the very same church that had been founded by Saint Paul. Now, some things that we could learn from that letter, right, is that the fact that Saint Paul is the one that founded that church, that he had written them a letter, right? Like none of this stuff is like it just like a myth, right? Like he's telling them, like, yeah, we know that Paul, he wrote you guys a letter. We know it's not like when the apostles passed away, like they just lost their letters and like they just like they were reading the letters, right, in their churches, and they were sending them to other churches, right, and building up the other churches like that as well. How do you think Polycarp in Smyrna? How do you think he knew about that letter, right? It's because they were all fellowshipping with each other and writing letters to one another, right? Even right there, you could see that the church in Philippi had asked Polycarp, right, for like his opinion and guidance, right? And that's what he did, and he wrote him a letter.